at
Okay,
lovedreamingpeach.com.
quick thoughts about Sarah Boone trial day 4 while I cut some tofu. Alright, let's see if this will work. So there, oh, I gotta drain out the water. So I still think that she's guilty AF, and that I do believe that she's gonna get, well, I think she's gonna get a minimum of 22 years in prison. So if she gets sentenced to 22 years, minus the 4.5 she's already done, what's that? You know, that leaves her with, 17 more years. So she's 47, so she'll be 57. She'll be like, I don't know, 70 something. She could get life though. And if the jury finds that all her, all of the testimony that's supposedly trying to prove battered spouse syndrome, battered person syndrome, and they find what I feel is true, what many people in the chats seem to be thinking, George Torres was the battered quote unquote spouse, and he is dead now. Alright, we're gonna, oh, that's hot, 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 hot. Alright. I got the vegan bouillon, the vegan tofu, and we're gonna put some spices in, and then my ramen, and my bokchoy. That's a funny looking filter. Oh, hold on. Oh my god, that's so scary. How scary and terrifying is that? Especially because my neck is still fucking old. I got a 50-year-old neck and a 16-year-old face. What the fuck? What? Okay. Let me try to focus back on this video. Is this thing gonna fade away? I can take off my socks. Well, I do really believe that, was Sarah Boone abused in any way? I mean, you might think I'm cold-hearted, but listening to her testimony, listening to the police interviews, listening to the police cam footage, listening to all the other evidence, my takeaway is that any injuries that Sarah Boone got came from Sarah Boone being the aggressor. Maybe she was attacking him and he was trying to get her off of him, and that resulted in her getting injured. Maybe she fell. Maybe she hurt herself. Maybe she was insanely drunk and did some dumb shit. Do I think that there's a chance that George was the aggressor of physical violence at any point? It's possible. I just find it very hard to believe that so apparently during the divorce, she got a financial settlement between her ex-husband, Brian Boone. So she got a lump sum. Then he was paying $1,000 a month for, I guess, alimony or something, plus $100 a month for, which is nothing, for child support. That's literally $25 a week, which is nothing. But so she didn't work. They said she hadn't been working in years because of the fact that she was living off the money from the divorce. And it was George who had to work, not her. Apparently he had some kind of part-time job that she said it was unreliable. Turns out, no, George was the unreliable one because he wouldn't show up sometimes because he was drunk. I'm going to do bok choy. So, you know, as expected, the defense's expert witness was incredibly biased and seemed to just take whatever Sarah Boone told her as true, when it was obviously one-sided hearsay. It's bad lighting. One-sided hearsay. And, you know, it's very, very reminiscent of Amber Heard and Ashley Banfield. Although, you know, Amber Heard didn't kill Johnny. She almost did. This is what I'm saying. Amber Heard's stories. As far as Amber Heard, she threw a giant glass bottle, smashed. She threw that at Johnny. She severed his finger. Oh my God, it was so bad, you know. And she got a few injuries. Like there was a headbutt, you know. He was trying to push her off, and he accidentally headbutted her, trying to get her away from him, from beating him up and shit. And then she turned around and used that as her evidence that he was, you know, being DV against her. And some gullible ass simps, sycophants, believed her. But luckily none of them were on the jury. And I feel that that's the same with Sarah Boone. And there's some people in the chats like, oh my God, she was a victim. And even my favorite lawyer, Peter Trego's lawyer, you know, he's like, oh, well, I would definitely say she's a victim of violence, DV, but, you know, but he does believe she's guilty. And I'm like, I don't believe it. He has a lot of grace. He has a lot of, like, forgiveness for people. He's a defense attorney, criminal defense attorney, although he mostly does civil now. And, you know, that's fine. Give her the benefit of the doubt, but it still does not absolve her of the fact that she killed that man. Alright, now I'm going to use this ramen. Well, I guess it kind of came out of the bag. It's this. Delish. Looks like thread. Vermicelli. It's almost time to put it in. I think it's time. Woo! Okay. Okay. In the strings go. To cook. Okay, no vegan is a real vegan without nooch. Lots of nooch. Well, those are my thoughts for the end of day 4. Sarah Boone trial. It's going to defense case in chief tomorrow. They said that they might rest at the end of the day today or in the morning, and because of these 2 like no contact orders that apparently Sarah had against George, they're going to talk about those, and then they will rest, and then the defense rests their case in chief. Then the prosecution gets their rebuttal case, and they said that they're going to be presenting about 2 to 3 hours worth of video, which is body cam footage and maybe some other police interviews, as well as some text messages. They did not mention calling Brian Boone to the stand, so I don't know if they're going to call him or not. And it seems extremely doubtful that they'll be calling Sarah Boone back to the stand. I think that they will not be. So tomorrow is Thursday, October 24th, I believe. Then by Friday, they'll do closing arguments, and then the jury will have to deliberate. And I think it's going to be guilty, life in prison. Oh my goodness, I can't forget the garlic. the shoyu and the cholula. Gotta put that in there. Can't forget those things. Oh, and then one ingredient that I add directly to my bowl, of course, all the bokchoy, and then I put this on it, which my son doesn't like, so I just put it in my bowl. Yummy, yummy, yummy in my tummy. Okay, and a money shot of this. This is my favorite thing, although this isn't my favorite ramen, but it's still my favorite. Tofu, bok choy, ramen, vegan soup, delish.